Hello class, today we're creating artwork for our showcase. It's a showcase. It's going to be exhibited very soon, and we're going to fill out our information on the labels correctly because this artwork is going to be framed for a wonderful all-class cafeteria, old-school cafeteria big showcase. So all your artwork was going to be displayed, and so we have to fill out this information correctly. Let's do it first. So for school, you're going to write VPE. For your name, first and last. So this is my sample, Michaela Kramer. And you're gonna do it twice, first and last name, Michaela Kramer. Title, you can give it a title later. The general is eyes. This is eyes, but you can rename it any way you want. Your homeroom teacher, not my name, but your homeroom teacher. So who is your homeroom? Homeroom teacher, okay, homeroom, HR, homeroom teacher. Who is your homeroom teacher? Your grade, you know how to do that. So for this art lesson, we're going to definitely fill this out correctly because it's going to be displayed and framed. So it needs to be filled out twice. Make sure you fill out both sides. Then we are going to be using stencils, and I started using this stencil here. So that's how I created this, and then we're going to start using crayons to outline it, and I'm going to show you how to proceed with everything step by step. But right now we're going to use sponges like this. And we're going to be really careful to just use one color per sponge. So if we're sharing this as a table, so it needs very little water. You're just going to use a small drip of water each time. You can just drip little, and I make it white so you can see that I drip like 1 or 2 drops before you load up the sponge. So you're going to load up the sponge by swirling, not like scraping, but swirling so you don't break the sponge off. Okay, so you're gonna swirl that's how we load it best. So that's the way it works best. So I'll show you again. I'm just gently swirling. Somebody was doing this too harsh and they already loosened it up. Now it's going to be harder to use. So be very careful when you load up. Nice and gently, you swirl it, that's enough. So just go a couple of times and it's loaded really strongly and nicely. And it's the perfect load for what we need to use with a stencil, okay? So one more time, you just do 1 drop like this using our water and our brush. You just don't use the brush for painting, you just blot the paint, and again you're gonna swirl gently to load it up, okay? Then the next thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna recycle this paper because somebody drew on it and we have only 1 per student, so I have to be very careful not to use papers because we're gonna run out. Then you're gonna choose a stencil. There's gonna be few available to choose. So this one, it doesn't show very clearly, but these are brand new stencils, so let's just try this one right here. So let's start in the middle, and it's usually gonna have an eye in the middle. So this one is a zebra and it has an eye right here. This one looks like it's some sort of cat and has an eye here in this area, eye. So I'm gonna start with like my blue color for the eye, and then I'm gonna do a rainbow effect. So I'm just gonna load up the next color. But you can also start with a dark blue eye, or if you like dark blue, or you pick your color to start with. You don't have to use exactly the same colors, of course, okay? So I already loaded up my purple. So what I'm doing is I'm holding the stencil so it doesn't move, okay? And I'm actually swirling gently so it gets into those crevices. So it gets all the way to all the details, okay? And I'm swirling gently to get to all the areas, okay? If it gets too dry, again, put just one drop of the paint that you're gonna be sharing, just one drop, and then load it up again, like I showed you, and never really push too hard. You just gently get into those crevices. Just hold really the stencil holding, that's the most important, so it doesn't shift around. You can go change to another color. I'm gonna go shift to red. I'm gonna put some red right here around the eye. And as you can see, I made like a rainbow effect. So I blended the colors with the sponge as I was adding other colors, okay? You're gonna like this lesson. It's very fun. So be gentle, especially if the sponge is coming off already a little bit. I loaded up, this was a darker red that I had also available. So I'm going to all the crevices, and I'm gentle not to push too hard with the sponge, okay? Maybe I'll load up some green. So each sponge is only used for that color. So the group is sharing the sponge, and each student has a different color. You see this one is almost coming off. They really just used it too harshly. So I can still use it, but I have to be very careful. And if your stencil moves, just try to put it straight back where it was so it still looks good. I have to use it very, like, just by dabbing so that it doesn't fall off, because they really scrape this sponge too much, as you can see. Okay, so this is how it's gonna look like. I'm gonna finish up really quickly so that I can show you what's the next step. So how about I use some yellow? I'm gonna load it up in a gentle circle, not digging into it, not creating this digging. This was brand new and somebody was already digging there, so you're not scraping, you're just swirling. And very gentle go around. I'm gonna put some orange too. So I'm gonna get a brush for sponge for orange. I don't have one right now for the video, but you should just reserve that one color to the sponge on your table, okay? So just one color. I'm gonna swirl around, and the video is gonna be too long if I take my time, but you'll take your time finishing up. I'm gonna finish up with more of that orange, swirling gently like this, and then you're gonna go finish up. Oops, yeah, to make sure that your stencil doesn't move, so be very careful going around. Okay, once you have it done, you lift it off, and you've got a really nice stencil that you can work with. So now we have two examples. Okay, so we have this one and this one. They're both eyes, really cool, pop art style. And so you're gonna love this. Now we're gonna collect the paints. We're not gonna have them on the table anymore. When you get to this point, we're gonna be using black crayon. You can also use a black pencil if you like. Don't use a marker, just black pencil or black crayon, and you're gonna go gently around, and you're gonna accentuate all these areas. You're gonna go around like I started here, and take your time going around all of the colored areas, all around. And what I'm doing, I'm kind of zigzagging around, so I'm making shorter lines like this, going back and forth gently, creating kind of like a texture with my crayon going around. This is gonna give it a really awesome pop. So you can also give it a zig especially if there is a fur. This is a cat. This is actually her nose, so I can give it a little accentuated and give it a more, even more elements of lines, making it thicker or thinner, and giving it more shape. Continuing that shape that is already showing what to do, so you're just really going around and accentuating it all the way around. And if there's any colors that you don't like, that got smudged or something like that, you can go over. Like this one, it was there before, so I'm just gonna color it with my black so I make it disappear. So I recycle that paper and it's still gonna be perfect. So if you made a mistake, just put a black crayon over that area. And this is gonna be fantastic. I'm very showy for the art show. The art show is gonna happen around Valentine's Day, and it's going to be on February 9th, and it's gonna be really nice. So your parents will come and see it. There's gonna be a craft night where PTA is gonna have all kinds of drinks available, maybe popcorn or pizza or something like that, maybe hot cocoa. There's gonna be craft tables for activities, and of course there's gonna be the show. There's gonna be, every student will have some kind of beautiful artwork framed. So I have to send these in January to the frame shop. So we have to be finished with it, hopefully before the Christmas break. And you're gonna get a grade. This is a summative, so you're gonna get a summative grade for your showcase piece, okay? So we're gonna outline this so that no color, no paint gets into our stencil, because then we're gonna go around these and we're gonna use a very light color like yellow or very light watercolor. That's gonna be a contrasting color, and we're gonna go around and finish the painting like this, and you see how it resisted, so I'm not gonna mess it up anymore, the stencil. It's gonna be all finished up beautifully. So as you can see, the black crayon will resist that watercolor, and we're gonna paint around it, okay? So once you finish outlining everything, you're gonna go around with a nice light color to blend it all in and to finish your masterpiece. And now is your turn. I can't wait to see how your beautiful painting turned out. And our show is gonna be fabulous. And it's gonna be around Valentine's Day, so if you wanna add little touches of hearts, okay, you can use your creativity to add a little heart, thinking about that time of the year. If you wanna add more hearts, you can do that. If not, it's gonna be fabulous the way it is. You're gonna take your time to finish this masterpiece. Very gently, you're gonna go around and fill with that light color around. It can be a different color from all the other colors you used, so it creates a really awesome blending for you, okay? And now, let's get started.